Hey Star Warriors, Star Geek here, in the first episode of Star Wars Versus. With hundreds of Star Wars characters out there, how are we to decide who's the best, most amazing character in the galaxy? Under 5 simple categories, we can face 2 different characters against each other for the most important judgment of their creation. Weapon, courage, rank, skill, and legacy, all used to decide a winner. Today we compare famed smuggler and rebel soldier Han Solo against legendary Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. Let's kick this episode off with our first category, weapons. Between the characters, we get 2 extremely iconic weapons, Han's blaster and Luke's lightsaber. Luke may have taken some time to master his weapon, clumsily faltering with the saber throughout episodes 4 and 5, but he did eventually gain control of his power and used it to its full potential. He first held a lightsaber in Obi-Wan's hut on Tatooine, and from there he practiced and trained to become a Jedi Knight throughout the films and with Jedi Master Yoda on Dagobah. When he lost his lightsaber in a battle with Darth Vader on Bespin, we saw his weakness and inexperience with the weapon, but come Return of the Jedi, he rebuilt an even better saber and showcased his strong ability with the sword, even nearly defeating Lord Vader with it. Who could possibly have a weapon to defeat Luke's iconic lightsaber? Han Solo, that's who. Even with a blaster, Han has always known how to create something as simple as a DL-44 into an incredibly deadly piece of equipment. He's only been bested by Vader when aiming his blaster, which he rarely misses. When Han has a target, you can be sure that that target will be hit. And besides, it's just like Han says,
"Pokey religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster at your side."
Point goes to Han. Which brings us into our next category, rank. Han Solo, not-so-ruthless smuggler and rebel soldier, splits his rank in half. While he starts out as a spice smuggler for gang leaders like Jabba the Hutt, he eventually joins the rebellion to fight the Empire. Unfortunately, he wasn't very good at either position. As a smuggler, Han and Chewbacca had to sneak across the galaxy transporting spice to various crime lords, but at the first sign of an Imperial ship, he would drop his consignment. Fleeing from his problems is what got him in debt, and frozen in carbonite, and when he decided to help the rebels, he always talked about leaving with his payment. In episode 5, Han was eager to get out of there to pay off his debt from his last falter. Luke, on the other hand, stayed true to being a Jedi Knight. Even when he started to doubt himself while training on Dagobah, he pushed through and always respected his rank. Han didn't fully respect the rank of smuggler, making Luke more truthful and loyal to his role. Plus, peaceful Jedi Masters seem to have better morals than ruthless smugglers. Point goes to Jedi Master Luke.
See? You can do it.
I call it luck.
In my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
Now let's look into the skill of our competitors. Luke certainly gains the ability to battle in episode 6, turning his father back to the light side of the Force. He took some time to fully understand the ways of the Force, but once he mastered them, Luke was able to take down Jabba's sail barge, blow up some scout troopers, and nearly defeat Lord Vader. Unfortunately, Luke was easily overpowered by Tusken Raiders and large groups of stormtroopers in episode 4. Luke was actually rather weak. It seemed he barely knew how to use a weapon, and was in constant danger. His real strength showed when he began piloting. His skill with an X-Wing far outweighed his battling capabilities. He was actually able to blow up the Death Star by launching a torpedo into a 2-meter wide exhaust port. Han Solo was also a very skilled pilot, with his treasured vehicle, the Millennium Falcon. He was able to maneuver through an asteroid field in order to hide from the Imperial fleets. Han was also very skilled with the blaster, as I mentioned before in the weapons category. The difference between the two is that Han Solo has practically no flaws in his skill area, but what it really comes down to is which one of these two would win in a fight. Based on the films, Han would easily beat Luke. Sure, Luke could probably overpower Han during the time period of Return of the Jedi, but in episodes 4 and 5, Luke wasn't skilled enough to win a fight with the smuggler. In fact, Han would easily beat Luke in combat. All he would have to do is shoot a few times, and Luke would be overpowered. Blocking the shots would be near impossible for an unskilled Padawan. Han's skills just outweigh that of Luke's. Point goes to Han. Legacy is a very important part of any character, and that's why that's the next category. Han Solo, famed smuggler, rebel captain, and all-around coolest character in the galaxy. Who doesn't know about this legend? Han Solo started out as a low-life smuggler who would bootleg spice across the galaxy, but he eventually became a kind-hearted, loyal rebel captain and friend. Luke Skywalker began his journey as a Tatooine farm boy with high hopes and impossible dreams, but worked his way to becoming the best Jedi Master in the galaxy. Which of these legends has the greatest legacy? Luke is the savior of the galaxy, the one who destroyed the Death Star, the Emperor, Lord Vader, and all oppression throughout the universe. Even if Han did greatly help the rebellion, he doesn't have anywhere near the iconic portfolio of Luke Skywalker. Point goes to Luke.
I got him! Great kid! Don't get cocky!
In our final extremity, let's talk about courage. Who has the willpower to fight for what they believe in, and take all risks to get the job done? Luke Skywalker is a perfect example of courage. He risks his life many times to save his friends and loved ones, even chancing his death. Someone with enough courage to risk their own well-being seems to be the obvious winner. But let's look at Han. Not only does Han risk his neck for a living, smuggling spice for dangerous crime lords with terrible repercussions if he makes any mistakes, but he constantly braves large groups of stormtroopers, asteroids, a battalion of TIE fighters, and even Lord Vader. Han will either act before he thinks, or think before he acts, allowing countless of scenarios to lead him to success. While Han rarely shows signs of fear or cowardice, Luke is reluctant and sometimes hides from his fears, which Han never does, getting our favorite smuggler the courage point he needed. Our stuck-up half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder Han Solo wins in the first episode of Star Wars Versus.
Who's scruffy looking?
Who do you want to see battle in the next episode of Star Wars Versus? Please put it in the comments to see if your pick ends up in the next video. Subscribe to Star Geek for weekly Star Wars content. If you agree that Han should have won, disagree, or just enjoyed the video, please shoot that like button at light speed. You can go check out my Facebook page, linked in the description below, as it really helps me out when you like my page. If you go over to the page, you will get daily news on Star Wars Episode 7, Star Geek episodes, memes, and even Han Solo. Also, go and check out my new Twitter account, @StarGeekYT, for tons of quick updates. Try clicking on the screen to subscribe, and click on the link to the left for my last video, an evaluation on Episode 7's title, The Force Awakens. You can also click on the right to watch my top 10 worst special edition changes video. Don't forget to like the video and comment on who you think should have won and who you want to see next below the video. Until we meet again in a galaxy far, far away, this has been Star Geek.